welcome back to All Baking Bootcamp. I'm Mia Rigden, a nutritionist, chef, and the founder of Rasa. Today, we are going to be making everyone's favorite cookie, Thin Mints, but our version is gluten-free, dairy-free, refined sugar-free, and we're not even using the oven. So this is a no-bake, alt baking bootcamp special. So the ingredients are pretty simple. We're actually not gonna be using any added sugar at all. We're just gonna be relying on the sweetness of dates. And then when we dip these cookies in chocolate, the chocolate has a couple of grams of sugar in it. But really, these are a very low sugar treat. So we're just gonna mix in the food processor some cashew butter, oats, the dates I mentioned, some sea salt, cacao powder, almonds, coconut flakes, and some peppermint oil. So I'm just gonna throw all of these ingredients in the food processor, roll them out into nice little cookies. We've got our cookie cutter right here, and then we're gonna dip them in chocolate, let them set, and then we're gonna eat them. So we've got our oats, coconut flakes, almonds. So in addition to this recipe being already really low in sugar, it's full of fiber and healthy fats, which are gonna help to mitigate blood sugar spikes and really to make you feel full and satisfied. So I would consider this to be a pretty healthy afternoon snack. Who doesn't want a healthy afternoon chocolate dipped cookie? Sign me up. All right, we're just putting like 3 to 4 drops of the peppermint oil. This stuff is strong, so too much is too much. All right, so let me put this lid on and get it going. Okay, so you really wanna let this go for a while because not only are the dates and the cashew butter making this sticky, but we've also got whole raw almonds in here that are blending together to make a sort of paste. Now I'm just gonna roll it out. You're gonna have to roll this dough out a few times, you know, cut the cookies out and then put the dough back together, roll it again, cut more cookies out. But we wanna roll it about 1/4 of an inch or less thick, so we wanna make sure it's thin, but not too thin. Because if the cookies are too thin, then they're gonna kind of fall apart when we dip them in the melted chocolate. This recipe makes a lot of cookies, so they store really well in the freezer and they're such a nice little sweet treat. So hopefully they will last longer at your house than they do at mine. All right. Okay. I'm gonna save this little piece of parchment paper because we're gonna have to roll this dough out again. And we're just gonna cut little circles. So you'll have to use, you know, whatever cookie cutters you have available at home, but I find that if it's too big, again, it gets a little bit more difficult to dip in the chocolate. So this is about the size of like a silver dollar. All right, so now I'm just gonna repeat. So get all the dough into the center, form it into a ball, roll it out, and cut more cookies. Smells so minty, I love it. Mint and chocolate is just such a great flavor combination. All right, our cookies are looking great. I'm gonna throw them in the fridge or you can put them in the freezer as well to set while we get our chocolate melted. We are putting together a double boiler right here, which we have done many times here on All Baking Bootcamp. So I've got a little bit of water in the pot here, which I'm gonna bring to a boil and then turn down to a simmer. And I'm gonna put the chocolate chips. So right here we have just plain old dark chocolate chips, 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, and then a few drops of that peppermint extract, because then we're gonna have the peppermint in the cookie and the chocolate dipping. All right, so let's get started. Here we go. Now it's starting to melt. Okay, so our chocolate is looking nice and melted. I'm gonna go grab our cookies out of the fridge and we'll start dipping. So I like to actually let the chocolate cool a little bit before we start dipping so that it, there isn't too much excess coating the chocolate, because then what will happen is that it creates, when you put it back on the piece of parchment paper, it creates this like halo and it doesn't look as nice. So I take the melted chocolate off of the burner and just kind of let it cool for a second. And then all you need really is a fork. So you dip the cookie in, give it a good tap, a scrape, and then we put it right back on the parchment paper. When you're done with all of the cookies, then you just stick them back in the fridge or the freezer for a few minutes to set, and then you can eat them. Okay, so I took our cookies out of the fridge and they're all set and looking real good. All right, I cannot wait to try one of these. So you can see it's got like nice layers on the inside. You can see our cookie layer and then also our chocolate dip layer. And so pepperminty and chocolatey. I absolutely love these. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Alt Baking Bootcamp. The recipe is written in the description below. You can keep these cookies in the freezer or the fridge. They're gonna stay fresh for a while and they taste really wonderful. Straight out of the freezer or fridge, you get that nice coldness paired with the rich chocolate. It's just fantastic, and I can't wait to see how your cookies turned out. So please leave us some comments below. Let us know what other recipes you want us to recreate here on Alt Baking Bootcamp, and we'll see you next time.